Hey guys, so today we're going to go over some regional terms for those of you who are starting out in anatomy or just need to do a quick review. So let's begin. So we have acromial, which is going to be on your scapula. It's this area right here. It's going to be on your shoulder right here. This is going to be your deltoid, which is also on your shoulder. This is the muscle that moves things around, but is also considered a region of the body since it is a major part of your arm. Next, we have axial, which is the armpit region, so it's going to be right here, or if I can turn Tiny Tim around, right here. Next, we have our antebrachial region, which is the region that many medical employees can draw blood from. That's going to be right in here. It's going to be your forearm. So Tiny Tim's hand is open like this. You can see it better on this area, so it's going to be right here on Tiny Tim. Remember, anatomical position is with your palms facing forward, so don't forget that. Ante means forward, so it's going to be on the front of your arm. The backside is going to be your brachial region, which is better seen right here on Tiny Tim. If you look at his lifted arm, you have antebrachial, and then with his lowered arm, you have brachial on the back of his arm. Next, we have calcaneal, which is going to be on the heels. So this, you will sooner or later know, is your calcaneus. This is a bone. It is also called calcaneal as a body region. So it's very nice of them to keep it pretty straightforward when you're learning different body parts and bones. Next, we have cervical. Don't think of cervix. Not everybody is female, so it's going to be on your neck. So that's going to be your cervical area, which is right in here. So it's going to be your neck. It's what holds your head together to your body. So next we have coxal. It's going to be right under your sacrum. So here we have the sacral area. Underneath that is going to be your coxal area. Soon you're going to learn about bones, and it's referring to your coccyx, which is right here. And then sacral, you have your sacrum bone right here. So it's just right in between the cheeks. Next, we have crural, which is your shin. It's right here. It's going to be on the front of your leg. Behind that, we have sural. They got real creative with these names. It's the back, so it's going to be like your calves. And then, so sural, and we have on the front crural. So awkwardly named. Next, we have dorsum. That is going to be your back. So for those of you who know your directional terms, that is referring to dorsal. So dorsum is going to be on your back. It's going to be this area right here. Next, we have oral. It's going to be your mouth. Next, we have digital, which is going to be your fingers, which includes your toes. So if your anatomy professor asks a question about the toes, it's going to be digital along with your fingers. Next, we have fibular, which is going to be the outside of each leg. It's referring to the fibula that's in your leg, and it's on the outside right here. You can see the tibia. So the fibula is going to be on the outside. Frontal. Don't be confused, guys. This is your frontal. This is going to be your forehead. Frontal for your forehead. They both start with an F. Don't be confused. The chin is called mental for your regional term. Mental for your chin, frontal for your forehead. Don't forget, guys. Next we have our hallux. Everyone has one. It is going to be your big toe. Next we have lumbar. This is referring to your lumbar spine. So this is going to be your lower back a little bit above the sacral and coxal region. So it's going to be right about here. This is the part that hurts after you sit at a desk for a really long time. So just keep that in mind. Next we have manus. That is going to be your hands. Not too hard to remember, guys. Just keep it in mind if your professor asks about it. Next we have nasal. That's obviously going to be your nose. So the no nose goes for nasal. Next we have femoral. That's going to be your your thigh region. This is going to be referring to the femur, which is in your thigh. So it's just this wide area right here on your thighs. Next we have pubic. That is going to be your crotch. Don't worry about it, it'll be okay. Scapular, that's referring to your scapula, which is right here. It's on the back. So remember, we have acromial over here. We have our deltoid over here. So this area right here is going to be scapula. This is your scapula right here, so it's going to be the scapular region, which is referring to your shoulder blades. So that's that part of your body that sticks out when you bring your shoulders back together. Next we have mammary, which is going to be your in your chest. All people have it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be right here and right here. Next we have sternal, which is referring to the sternum. That's this mid part right here. It's this hard bone. This is going to be covering your heart and part of your lungs underneath it. So it's not too hard to remember. Just remember your sternal region is in your chest between your two mammaries. Next we have thoracic. That is going to be the middle of your back. So it's going to be higher up. So here's our lumbar, here's our sacral, and here's our coxal. So your thoracic is going to be right here. We have our cervical right here. So right under that is going to be your thoracic. It's referring to your thoracic spine, and you guys are going to learn more about that in bones. Next we have vertebral. So just right where we were. This is your vertebral column. It's where all your vertebrae are. This is where your spinal cord is held. So your vertebral column is going to be right here. So this is vertebral. It's this strip right here. So this is your pectoral region. Yes, this is your mammary region as well. Just remember, keep that in mind. This is mammary or pectoral. Next we have otic, which is your ear. It is very confusing with the word optic, but otic is your ear. Next we have orbital, which is your eye. Just kind of think of your eye as a planet, and it orbits inside your head. Next we have the olecranon. This is going to be in your elbow. It is part of your radius, and it's going to be inside your bones, but it's going to be kind of in the break of your elbow. Patellar is your knee. So here we have our kneecap. So this is going to be your patellar region. Behind your knee is popliteal. So you gotta pop your knee. It's going to be on the back. But in the front, it's going to be your patellar. Next we have palmar, so that is going to be the palm of your hand, guys. It's really not that hard. Most of these are pretty straightforward. Next we have pedal. That is going to be your foot. So just kind of remember it, like when you drive a car, you need a foot. So you're gonna hit the pedals with your foot. So pedal for foot. Then we have pelvic, that's gonna be this entire region right here. That's going to encompass the pubic area, and right here we have our inguinal area. So within the pelvic region is your pubic and inguinal region. So your inguinal is right where your hip meets your thigh. So it's going to be right here, preinguinal. Next we have plantar. This is going to be in the bottom of your foot. I have not picked up Tiny Tim. Oh my gosh, she's heavy. So it's just going to be the bottom of your foot, guys. It's really not that hard to remember. You got to plant your foot down, so plantar for your foot. Next we have gluteal. Yes, you have heard it probably before on TV or any other show that you may or may not watch. It's your gluteal. This is referring to your cheeks. Yes, this is gluteus maximus for those who know your muscles, but this is your gluteal area. Next we have perennial. That is going to be right in here, guys. It's right where the pole goes into Tiny Tim. It's usually in between, for males, it's in between your anus and your testicles. For females, it's going to be right behind your vagina and between your anus and your vagina. Next, we have pollex. That is your thumb. All of us have one, hopefully. So this is your pollex. Occipital. So for those of you who have done bones before, this is your occipital region. It's the back of your head, the one that you always smack when you aren't paying attention and just throw your head back. So this is going to be your occipital region on the back of your head. Next we have tarsals. So for those of you who have done this before, tarsals are going to be the bones in your feet. And we have our umbilical region, which is going to be your belly button area. Umbilical for the umbilical cord that was attached to you. This is going to be your zygomatic. So it is part of your bone, is your cheekbone. So whenever you're talking about your cheekbone, it's going to be your zygomatic region. Also, for those who are doing bones, this is the zygomatic bone. So we'll see that again in bones. So this one is going to be antecubital, and then we have antebrachial right here. So this is the front of his arm. He's just twisting his arm around. So if we look at his raised arm, we have antebrachial right here and antecubital right here. Next, we have the abdominal region. So just think of your abs, whether they're existent or not, they're right here. Inside, this is going to surround your umbilical region. Next, we have buccal or buccal, depending on how you pronounce it. This is going to be your cheek area right here on your face. Next we have carpal, which is going to be your wrist. So we have our carpals in the wrist and our tarsals as our ankles, you guys. So just remember carpal for C coming on top and tarsal for T on the bottom. Last but not least, we have cephalic. That's going to be your head, you guys. Don't forget it. It's your cephalic region. This is your entire head where your brain is. So we are not going to forget our cephalic region. Okay guys, I hope you learned some stuff. Have a nice day.